Thanks for joining us to start off your week. It's Monday, September 9th. I'm Lauren Barnes.
And I'm Joe Morano. So a new week, and as we push into September, still very much feels like July-ish, right?
I know. I have this big fuzzy Chiefs blanket that I always get out during football season. And yesterday I was like, what is this? I don't want this.
Yeah.
I just need some iced tea or anything to
Even the windows open didn't work. You needed the AC going.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, all the fans, all the AC. It's a hot one.
It's going to stick around that way, too. Meteorologist Elisa Rapp has been telling us that we are in those summer feels right now.
It makes me so mad that they closed the pools. You know, because it was Labor Day. Like, I could have kept it open for another 2 weeks because it's, you know, that one calendar day doesn't make a difference. It's still pretty hot, you know?
Yeah, and it's going to be for these next few days, huh?
Yeah, starting out warm this morning. We've got some dry roads and temperatures in the 70s in Branson. It's 72 degrees with some calm winds and those dew points in the upper 60s. We've got just a few clouds out there this morning, another dry start, so no rain. 71 degrees in Mountain Grove at 72 in Ava, 70 in West Plains and 71 in Harrison. The dew points in the upper 60s and lower 70s again have it feeling very warm, humid and uncomfortable out there this morning. That muggy meter map showing those oranges and reds up there, just those colors telling us that it feels uncomfortable. So dry roads as we head through the afternoon. I don't expect weather to slow you down, just that it's going to be hot and you'll need to stay hydrated. If the kids don't have air conditioning in school, make sure they dress with some lightweight, light colored clothes. 94 by Decima, so we'll feel closer to 100. We do have to talk about an isolated storm chance for today. The summery stretch will continue with one star of the 7-day, just one cold front to talk about, bringing us some brief relief. Your full forecast is up in 10 minutes.
Wounded veterans and first responders who've been injured in the line of duty got a unique opportunity over the weekend.
Color 10's Hannah Zettel joins us with more on an underwater memorial and how this group was able to see it. Hannah, good morning.
Good morning. Well, you wouldn't necessarily think Arkansas would be the perfect place to go scuba diving, but for this group of veterans and first responders, it was. The 10 men and women rowed a boat to the Blakely Mountain Dam Sunday. They suited up, trained, and were ready to dive in. They went 24 feet below the surface to see a unique memorial of Adam Lee Brown, a member of the Navy's Elite SEAL Team 6. He was a Hot Springs native and a family man killed in a firefight in Afghanistan 9 years ago. The memorial showcases a stone with Adam Brown along with his favorite Bible verses and challenge coins from across the world, honoring brave soldiers who've made sacrifice.
You have to do it to describe it. You have to do it, you know. And it's just like, it's a whole different world down there, you know. Beautiful, beautiful. I'd like to do it again.
This is the 5th annual Fearless Rock Dive. The dive shop in Little Rock provided all of the gear used, and the group received several gifts, including a book about Brown's life.
All right, thank you, Hannah. We have some big political news for you. Governor Mike Parson officially announced his run for governor in 2020. He made the announcement in his hometown of Bolivar, and in that he promised more jobs, to provide a quality education to Missouri students, and to fight to end abortion across the state. He believes that those things can be accomplished also without raising taxes.
With common sense and honor and integrity, and that's why I'm here today in my hometown of Bolivar to announce that I am running for you to be your governor in the great state of Missouri.
Republican state representative and candidate Jim Neely welcomed the governor to the race and added that he believes the primary should be, quote, an opportunity to discuss the issues that matter to Missourians who are fighting for their lives.
In education coverage, the Christian County judicial system is working to help kids at school with bad attendance. A new program this year at the Ozark School District, the Christian County Diversion Court program, will identify around 30 at-risk kids and provide them help to make sure they're successful at completing school. It targets students who have poor attendance, 80% or less. Circuit Judge Laura Johnson says this program is designed to intervene long before kids may be in trouble with the law.
I know in my position as a judge, the vast majority of criminal adult defendants that I see did not graduate from high school. I mean, a surprisingly high number.
For some more information about the specific phases of the program, go online to our website, ozarksfirst.com.
Also in some education coverage for you, a new report is highlighting some discipline data at Springfield Public Schools. It shows that students from diverse backgrounds were more likely to be disciplined than others. The news leader reports this covers last school year and that 17% of Springfield students were disciplined. Among that 17, there's a breakdown of demographics. The rate was 21% for low-income and black students, 23% for Hispanic students, and 26% for students in special ed programs. Some of the discipline includes suspension as well. Most of the groups mentioned spent more than the average of 7 days in suspension. Also in the report, more than half of the district's students responded favorably to the school's safety measures, which is up compared to last year. Superintendent John Jungman says leaders will not ignore the difficult issues still happening in the district.
And in a local spotlight, hopefully you were able to check out this year's Japanese Fall Festival in Springfield. All weekend, hundreds made their way to the Mizumoto Stroll Garden at Nathaniel Green Park for the 24th annual Japanese Fall Festival. The festival celebrates Japanese culture and honors the 33-year-old sister city relationship with Isesake, Japan. Food, dance, and music are highlights of this yearly tradition.
We have had a great weekend. Yeah, it's been great because, of course, that's more revenue that we can put back into this park and support cultural exchanges. But it also gets out the message, which is ultimately peace through people and appreciation of diversity, appreciation of cultures.
The admission fees at the festival are used to maintain and develop the Mizumoto Gardens and further the Peace Through People mission.
We're starting out with some dry roads in Springfield this morning. The sun is not up yet, but it is warm already. Temperatures in the low to middle 70s. It's 74 degrees in Springfield. Details on a summery 7-day coming up right after the break.
From Color 10 Ozarks First, Lauren Barnes, Joe Morano, and weather with meteorologist Elisa Raffa. This is Color 10 News Daybreak. Now weather with meteorologist Elisa Raffa.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. It was pretty steamy all weekend. We hit a high of 93 degrees yesterday. Of course, that's much above average, and it was close to the record. The record stands at 98 from 1960. We missed it by just 5 degrees. The latest 90-degree day on record in Springfield was October 11th in 1963. So again, this is some of that late summer heat that we've been dealing with. I mean, look at how much sizzling we've had so far this September. We had 90s all last week, 5 days straight from Monday through Friday. Temperatures have been above average for 7 of the first 8 days in the month, running 6 degrees above average so far. Looking at how the summer did, June, July, and August is what we consider summer in our weather record books, and it was about average because every time we had some of that heat, it came through with a cool down. So we had 4 90-degree days in June, 9 in July, and 12 in August. The longest streak of 90-degree days was 5 days, and we had that happen once in July, twice in August, and then once in September. So again, the streak never really lasted all that long. So far, we've had 6 90-degree days in September. We're starting out mostly clear and warm this morning in Springfield. It's 74 degrees. It's 70 in Branson right now, 73 in Monette, and 71 in Fort Leonard Wood. Dew points in the upper 60s and lower 70s, telling us it feels humid out there. It is uncomfortable this morning as southerly winds continue to pull in this summery air mass. A warm front does hang to the east, and that will be the focus for some showers and storms possible by this afternoon, because as the heat and humidity bubbles through the day today, we could pop a storm or two along that boundary to the east, and that's about it for storm chances. Temperatures today 10 degrees above the average, going for a high of 94. Average is 84. Will be mostly sunny, hot, and humid. Those temperatures in the low to middle 90s will feel closer to 100. So hour by hour, we'll pop a storm or two possible to the east of Highway 65. Otherwise, mostly sunny and dry. Any storms that do pop will collapse by sunset, and we'll have some mostly clear skies tonight. Temperatures in the lower 70s. By tomorrow, mostly sunny, hot, and humid again. I think Futurecast is overdoing this storm chance here. It stays pretty isolated again on Tuesday, but those temperatures around 90 degrees. That feels like we'll be close to 100 again today and tomorrow, with that summery feel still hanging around, and it hangs around through a lot of the 7-day because that summertime area of high pressure doesn't get knocked in until we have doesn't get knocked down until we have a cold front come through late Friday or late Thursday into Friday. So what we're looking at is temperatures in the lower 90s through Thursday. Showers and storms arrive Thursday night. By Friday, temperatures in the middle 80s Friday and Saturday will feel a little bit more comfortable, but it's short-lived. We're back up by 90 degrees on Sunday. 94 today, mostly sunny, hot, and humid. It feels closer to 100. An isolated storm is possible to the east. 71 overnight, warm and muggy. 92 tomorrow, hot again. We stay hot through Thursday with sunshine and things feeling summery. One cold front Thursday night into Friday brings us some relief.
Whew, that's still a ways away, though, so enjoy these summer conditions in the meantime, everyone. Also, enjoy guessing some birthdays. That's what we got to do right now on this Monday morning, starting with a well-known comedian, Adam Sandler, of course.
I didn't know he was born in Brooklyn.
Yeah, from New York, and just a ton of movies.
Not enough room on
Still cranking out the movies he has on that 7-picture Netflix deal that he has.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, he's been doing a lot of those. I'm going to take a stab and say 48?
53. Hey, wow.
There you go. Did you cheat?
No.
Okay, well, good job.
All right, we'll see if Elisa can go for 2 for 2. See if you can get 2 for 2 at home there. Hugh Grant. Of course, everyone knows him from Love Actually.
Classic.
Of course.
Music and lyrics, my favorite movie ever.
Is it really your favorite?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Oh.
All right. Well, do you want to take first crack here?
Yeah, we're gonna make you go first.
Now that I'm like, yeah, I'm the resident Hugh Grant expert. Okay, 52.
53.
58.
I'm gonna go 60. Nothing?
How old is Hugh Grant?
Oh.
We sandwiched it.
Not too bad.
Hopefully you did better at home. Well, better than us. At least you did great. Let's give a shout out to our viewers at home celebrating birthdays and anniversaries today. We have Carrie Countryman, Rachel Rodriguez, and Joey Nance. Happy birthday to you. And if you want an announcement on Daybreak, all you have to do is send us an email to birthdays@colorton.com.
We are talking Chiefs in sports coming up next, but during the break, find us on Facebook and Twitter and see what's going on here at Color 10 and also behind the scenes.
now. Sports on Color 10 News.
All right, I know you Chiefs fans at home have been waiting for this weekend since last January, really, when the Patriots upended KC in the AFC title game. Let's take you to Jacksonville. Week 1 of the NFL season, and the defending MVP, Patrick Mahomes, and the Kansas City Chiefs paying a visit to the Jags. And Mahomes, looking like an MVP, finds Sammy Watkins, and Watkins burns him 68 yards upfield for the first touchdown of the year to make it 7-0 Kansas City. Unbelievable. Mahomes back at it again. He'll find a wide open Watkins once again. The two connect for a touchdown. Huge day for Sammy. 9 catches, 198 yards, and 3 scores. Second quarter, no touchdowns, but we've got some anger happening here. Miles Jack pushes Watkins, and a little bit of some fighting ensues right here. Jack had to be restrained by 2 people trying to take him off the field as he was ejected. Back to the Chiefs offense, though. Damian Williams walks this one in from 1 yard out. One other note we got to bring you. Tyreek Hill left the game with a shoulder injury. Had to have some emergency medical attention at a hospital in Jacksonville. He's likely to miss a few weeks, but more details are coming today or tomorrow. For now, though, KC is enjoying that victory.
I'm proud of my guys for the effort that they put in. I mean, it was a sun we got out there, and I was hot. While you guys were up eating hot dogs, man, it was hot down there. So our guys fought through and did a nice job with that. You enjoy every win in the National Football League. It's too hard to get.
The best thing about this offense is it seems like if we can make one guy miss and the guys get open space, they usually score. So once I saw him make that safety miss, and it was just a foot race, I knew that he was going to get there. If someone gets their opportunity, they step up and play, and we really pick each other up. And so I was glad the guys stepped up, made plays, if it was running backs, receivers, tight ends, whatever it was. And so, I mean, that's just how we roll, is whoever's getting their opportunity to make a play, they make it.
All right, how about the Cardinals have won 23 of their last 30 games, Elisa.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, they try to build off that momentum this coming week, beating Pittsburgh 2-0. Jack Flaherty with 10 more strikeouts. Unbelievable there. The Royals blanked by the Miami Marlins 9-0. Tough go for KC right there.
Fried by the fish. Fish fry over there.
How long you been holding on to that phrase?
No,
that's a good one.
Right, that's what the Marlins and Yankees had a World Series, and that was a huge. That's
a deep cut. That was from 2003. Yeah, no kidding. All right, I like that term, but the Cardinals are looking forward, and clear skies for them and for us as well, right? It's just hot out there.
Still pretty summery. We're talking football, but it doesn't really feel like it yet. We've got some clear skies out there this morning. It's 74 degrees on south and southeast winds at 9 miles per hour. It is 70 in Branson, 73 in Monette, and then 72 in Bentonville. Dew points are in the upper 60s to about 70 degrees, so that tells us that it is humid and uncomfortable out there this morning. And we've got those conditions. You can see them popping on that Muggy Meter map. So as you take the pup out today, Lucy's still enjoying the last little bit of summer. We'll have mostly sunny skies. Make sure you and the pup are hydrated because it will be hot. If you want to go for a run, my advice is to do it early because we'll have that heat and humidity start to really crank as we head through the afternoon and evening. So you want to get that done before it gets too hot, and then you're at a greater risk of dehydration. An isolated shower or two possible to the east today, where a warm front is still hanging out. Otherwise, any storms collapse by sunset, and we'll have things hot and humid today. Mostly clear overnight, and then tomorrow, I think Futurecast is overdoing this rain chance here, but we'll keep things mostly sunny, maybe a storm or two. Feels like approaches 100 degrees both today and tomorrow, staying very summery for the next couple of days. So if you want to hit the lakes for some last-ditch fishing right before we start to get a little bit cooler, we'll have some nice weather, just hot through Thursday. Showers and storms don't arrive until overnight Thursday into early on Friday. So that summery stretch continues. Temperatures in the lower 90s through Thursday with sunshine. That front again comes through late Thursday to Friday. So we'll have temperatures come back down into the middle 80s Friday and Saturday, which is about average. But it's a brief little relief from the heat. We're back up to 90 degrees on Sunday.
Up next, details on a now-canceled meeting between the president and the Taliban.
The goal of the summit was to try and end the war in the Middle East. We'll take you through these details when we come back here on Daybreak. Welcome back to Daybreak, everyone. 25 past the hour now. The White House is defending its decision to invite Taliban leaders to a summit at Camp David. President Trump says the talks would have taken place this past weekend, but were canceled when a U.S. soldier died in a suicide bombing on Thursday. Laura Podesta reports this morning from New York.
President Trump took to Twitter to reveal that senior leaders of the Taliban had been invited to Camp David, along with the president of Afghanistan. The summit was aimed at fulfilling one of Mr. Trump's key campaign promises, ending the nearly 18-year war against the Taliban. But the talks were called off when a U.S. soldier died in a suicide bombing in Kabul on Thursday.
The president ultimately made the conclusion that the meetings today wouldn't deliver on the outcome that he's demanding we get for the American people. And when he saw that they couldn't deliver on the reduction in violence commitments that they had made, he said there's no sense in having this meeting.
This is sort of when Trump takes over, things get messed up.
Democrats assailed the administration's failed peace plan.
It's another example of the Trump administration's foreign policy, which is a high-wire act that ultimately is focused on Trump as a persona, but not on the strategic, methodical effort of creating peace.
Criticism came from some Republicans as well.
You can't trust the Taliban. You can't trust al-Qaeda. When you see an attack that happens to gain leverage, you know that they're not serious.
In a statement, the Taliban claimed the suspension of talks will harm the U.S. most, saying it will damage its reputation and unmask its anti-peace policy to the world even more. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Now, it is unclear when negotiations with the Taliban may resume. 14,000 U.S. military personnel, though, are currently stationed in Afghanistan. Still ahead for you this hour, the top 3 stories if you're just waking up.
Plus, another check of today's forecast is right after this.
Good morning. My name is Taylor, and I go to Cowden Elementary School. Today is September 9th, and lunch menu is breaded chicken drumstick, turkey chef salad, mashed potatoes, fresh broccoli, and diced peaches.
And now weather with meteorologist Elisa Raffa.
Good morning. If you're just waking up with us, we're expecting another hot and humid day today with just an isolated storm chance. The summery stretch continues with just one star of the 7-day. One cold front brings us a few days of relief. Starting out with just a few clouds in Springfield this morning. It's 74 degrees on south and southeast winds. It is 68 degrees in Branson, 73 in Monette, and 72 in Ava. And of course, these temperatures very warm in the 70s are coming with humidity on that muggy meter map just popping out there. So this morning, again, starting with a warm start, a grade of an A minus by dismissal because it's going to be humid again. 94 degrees feels closer to 100 with sunshine and that isolated storm chance. Again, details on one cold front in the 7-day coming up in a couple of minutes. Lauren.
Here's a look at your top 3 stories. Locally, Governor Mike Parson has officially announced his run for governor in 2020. He did that yesterday in his hometown of Bolivar. In his announcement, he promises more jobs to provide a quality education to Missouri students and to fight to end abortion across the state. Regionally, in Bentonville, Arkansas, thousands raised money and awareness for suicide prevention over the weekend. This year's Northwest Arkansas Out of the Darkness Community Walk had a record-breaking turnout. That's according to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. The goal is to educate people about a topic that is not often discussed. And nationally this morning in Jacksonville, Florida, a massive cargo ship has toppled over. 20 people were rescued from the ship, but 4 remain missing. The rescue mission had to be halted, though, when officials say it became too dangerous. The boat was carrying more than 4,200 vehicles. Why it capsized, though, is still under investigation.
All right, thank you, Lauren. Some other news items in case you might have missed while you were sleeping. Search warrants have been served to the owner of the California dive boat that was engulfed in flames last week. The Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Department says it's all part of the ongoing investigation. There were 39 people on board, but only 5 survived, all of them crew members. The bodies of 33 people have been recovered, but 1 is still unaccounted for, and the search is ongoing. Hundreds of students formed human chains at a Hong Kong Baptist University on Monday in support of anti-government protesters after another weekend of fighting. The students called on authorities to respond to the promises of freedom, human rights, and rule of law. One of the 5 demands was to formally withdraw the extradition bill, which was announced last week by the city's leader, Carrie Lam. We move on now to a market watch for you this morning. Here's how markets closed on Friday. The Nikkei up 118 points while the Dow gains 69. Your Dow futures opening this early Monday up 53. And then also your NASDAQ lost 13 points Friday. NASDAQ futures up 15 so far. Time for a break for us here on Daybreak. But don't forget to subscribe to our Daybreak in 10 podcast. We have that sent to your phone or tablet every morning. Just search Color 10 News wherever you get your podcasts and hit subscribe.
Now, forecast first on Color 10 News Ozarks First.
Good morning. It was hot all weekend. We hit a high 93 degrees yesterday in Springfield, much above the average, of course, of 84. And that high of 93 was not all too far from our record, only 5 degrees short of the record of 98 degrees from 1960. Again, about 10 degrees above the average. And the latest 90-degree day that Springfield has ever seen was October 11th back in 1963. So focusing on this late summer heat, so far for September, we've had 6 of our first 8 days in the lower 90s. 7 of these days are running above average. The month is running 6 degrees above average. Looking at the summer months, though, of June, July, and August, those are the months that we consider summer for our weather record books. Well, the 3 months combined only ran about 1/10 of a degree above average. We had 4 90-degree days in June, 9 in July, and 12 in August, which each round of heat coming in short waves. We've only hit 5 days straight for a 90-degree streak, and we did that in July, in August, and in September. Again, so far we've had 6 90-degree days this month, and there's more to come as we head through this week. Starting out with sunshine in Springfield, it's 74 degrees on south and southeast winds at 9 miles per hour. Very warm. It's 70 in West Plains, 71 in Mountain Grove and Fort Leonard Wood, and 68 to start in Branson. Dew points in the upper 60s and lower 70s. Again, of course, tell us that it is uncomfortable out there, very humid on that muggy meter map, and we're pulling in these southerly winds with a warm front not all too far away. We've got that warm front to the east, and that could be the center for some showers and storms developing by this afternoon. Again, they could just bubble on the heat and humidity of the day, and they would focus along that front if we see any, and these storms should stay isolated at that. So temperatures today will be hot again, 94, will be 10 degrees above the average of 84. Mostly sunny, hot, and humid with those temperatures in the low to middle 90s, feeling closer to 100. On that futurecast, you could see maybe 1 or 2 storms pop, mainly east of Highway 65, where that front will hang out. But for the most part, we're going to stay mostly sunny and dry. Then we'll have any of those storms that pop collapse by sunset with temperatures in the lower 70s. By tomorrow, mostly sunny again. I think futurecast is getting too excited about these storm chances. We'll have the sunshine, maybe a storm or 2 with that heat and humidity continuing to linger. That feels like we'll get closer to 100 as we head through the day today and tomorrow, continuing to feel pretty summery across the Ozarks, and it hangs around through a lot of the week because that summertime area of high pressure that keeps us hot and humid, there's nothing to break it down until late Thursday into Friday. That's when our next cold front comes through and will give us some brief relief. Lower 90s through Thursday, feeling of course hotter than that. Front comes through Thursday night into Friday, so we're looking at temperatures closer to average in the middle 80s Friday and Saturday, and then we're back up towards 90 degrees on Sunday. 94 today, hot and humid with an isolated storm or 2 possible to the east. 71 overnight, warm and muggy by tomorrow. 92 degrees, mostly sunny, hot and humid again. We keep that humidity cranking as we head through Thursday, mostly sunny with temperatures in the lower 90s. That front comes through with some showers and storms overnight Thursday, and then again early on Friday. Temperatures in the middle 80s on Friday and Saturday. That heat comes back by Sunday.
All right, coming up next, your headlines. I've got one about a sibling rivalry at a very professional level.
Okay, well, we all know about sibling rivalries. We'll have to see. That's up next.
All right, everyone, time for some headlines. Got some funny things happening, trending. I got one talking about sibling rivalries. We've all got siblings on the
Yeah,
couch
we
here,
do.
right?
Yeah.
We've all fought with them a little bit.
A little bit. Okay.
Here's one, though, that is very interesting from DAZN here. Brother versus brother, Colin versus Brian. The Marlins and Pirates. This is Major League Baseball we're talking about. We're playing each other a few days back, and Brian Moran was a pitcher for Miami. It was his first appearance in the major leagues, and that right there is his younger brother that he had to face at bat right now. It was the first time siblings have squared off like that in the MLB since 1900.
No kidding. Since 1900.
Yeah, and look at that. Brian struck out his brother, which was his first major league strikeout as well. Little smirks right there back and forth.
What does the family do? Like, what do you do if you're the parents or the aunts and uncles? How do you cheer for them?
They got some in the Pirates and some in the Marlins uniforms right there. And so Brian was the pitcher. Colin has been in the majors for a couple of years. So maybe they lean more toward Brian on this one, you know?
Oh, no. I'm sure they split halfway. But he's never going to let him live that down.
Yeah. What happens when you get together for Thanksgiving?
I know. I mean, there have been a couple of siblings in baseball. The Molina brothers, right?
Yeah.
Father-son pairings as well.
Not
but
really
this is
pitchers, though, versus
first
batters.
one.
And there's a lot in football, too.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Nothing that my brothers and I would do. None of us are athletic, so sorry.
That's okay. We have our own rivalries. This next headline comes from AP Oddities, which tweeted out thousands could soon be forced to make reservations and pay to drive the world-famous crooked Lombard Street in San Francisco. So this is what it looks like. You can see it just zigzags back and forth. California lawmakers have approved a bill granting San Fran the power to establish a toll and reservation system for Lombard Street because it's becoming so popular. It still needs governor's approval, signature, but San Francisco County Transportation recommends $5 per car weekdays, $10 weekends and holidays, and it's because it's become so overcrowded that it's backed up behind like the entrance to the street for so long, and it's only about a 600-foot long street that you see right here.
Yeah.
But it's just causing major traffic impacts.
I've been there. I was there last year, and that surprises me. Like, why would, in God's name, would you take that street? Because it is so narrow and so, like, I don't know how you would drive that. So I don't know.
Say you did, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that this was a thing that people did.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a lot of tourists there, but the tourists weren't really driving because they're tourists, right? They're visiting. So I don't know where the traffic is coming from, and why would you? The street is so narrow and so steep. You like literally are walking down a 90-degree angle.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people said it was more like an amusement park, and I will say $5–10 is a lot cheaper than an amusement park price.
Yeah,
so
that's not bad.
if you just need a little thrill.
Yeah, that's not bad. I just, again, of all the San Francisco things out there, I did not know that was one of the things that you try and do.
Apparently it is.
But hey, save a Lincoln, you'll be all right. A 5, not the car. There you go. Another headline this morning is from WSB. This is a feel-good story for the day, guys, all right? A boy bullied for his homemade Tennessee shirt has now become an official logo with the school right there.
Aww.
You remember a couple of weeks ago was National College Colors Day.
Yeah.
A boy in Florida did not have any Tennessee gear, so he scribbled UT on a sheet of paper and pinned it to an orange shirt.
Oh.
He got poked fun of in class though by his classmates and things.
Right.
So a teacher took a picture, wrote that, and then the post went viral. And so UT made this right now. They took his scribbling, the boy's scribbling, and made it its official shirt right there.
And it's like licensed out to the school. They'll sell it now.
It looks kind of vintage. Like, I like it.
Yeah, it's kind of nice,
different.
right? So they're selling it in the bookstore. And again, another thing about the promise of social media, it can do some good for you, you know?
Right. I wonder if those kids are laughing now, you know? Yeah. They're probably, now this T-shirt, kids have it all over the country now, and
right.
He's the one laughing.
Right.
Yeah. He's the one laughing. They're selling it in their school store, and also the University of Tennessee sent a box of Tennessee gear for the little kid to wear.
Wow. I wonder if he'll get some royalty from that. Does he get some part of the licensing, you know?
He got a box of free clothes. I think he'd be all right with that. I don't know if he gets that. I don't know if he gets any royalties or not. Bragging rights forever.
That
He's
counts for a lot.
Worth more.
Yeah.
cool kid in school now, too, right? I like that a lot. All right, that's your headlines this morning. Daybreak in 10 is up next. Missouri legislators will be in special session later today.
And wounded veterans and first responders get a unique diving experience in Arkansas.
Welcome back, everyone. Time for Daybreak and 10 on Color 10.
We'll be on the air commercial-free for 10 straight minutes beginning right now. Let's get started with a check of today's forecast with Elisa. Good morning.
Good morning. We've got the sun coming up and shining in Springfield, just a few clouds, and it's warm, 74 degrees on south and southeast winds at 9 miles per hour. It is 68 in Branson, 71 in Harrison, and 70 in West Plains. And these warm temperatures are coming with a very humid feel out there this morning, and you can see that on the Muggy Meter map. By dismissal, kiddos, it's going to be hot, 94, feels close to 100. If you guys don't have air conditioning in school, make sure you wear lightweight and light colored clothes. We could pop an isolated shower or storm to the east of Highway 65. That would be the only rain chance that we've got today. Any storms that do pop should collapse by sunset. We're looking at mostly clear skies tonight with temperatures in the lower 70s. Then by tomorrow, mostly sunny, hot, and humid again. I think Futurecast is overdoing this rain chance for tomorrow. I think it stays isolated again. That feels like approaches 100 again today and tomorrow, with those lower 90s feeling like the upper 90s for the next couple of days straight. Mostly sunny and summery through Wednesday, hot and humid, and those temperatures in the lower 90s feel closer to 100. One cold front in the 7-day will take those temperatures from the lower 90s on Thursday. Showers and storms arrive Thursday night, and then we'll have temperatures in the middle 80s Friday and Saturday, closer to average on the backside of that front. But that relief is a little bit short-lived. We're back up towards 90 degrees on Sunday. Joe, Lauren.
All right, thank you, Elisa. Wounded veterans and first responders who have been injured in the line of duty got a unique opportunity over the weekend.
Our Hannah Zettel joins us with more on an underwater memorial and how this group was able to see it. Hannah?
Well, that's right. You wouldn't think Arkansas was the perfect place to go scuba diving, but for these veterans and first responders, it was. The 10 men and women rowed a boat to the Blakely Mountain Dam Sunday. They suited up, trained, and were ready to dive in. They went 24 feet below the surface to see a unique memorial of Adam Lee Brown, a member of the Navy's elite SEAL Team 6. He was a Hot Springs native and a family man killed in a firefight in Afghanistan 9 years ago. The memorial showcases a stone with Adam Brown, along with his favorite Bible verses and challenge coins from across the world, honoring brave soldiers who've made sacrifices.
You have to do it to describe it. You have to do it, you know. And it's just like, it's a whole different world down there, you know. Beautiful, beautiful. I'd like to do it again.
This was the 5th annual Fearless Rock Dive. The dive shop of Little Rock provided all of their gear, and the group received several gifts, including a book about Brown's life.
Thank you. Hannah Zettel reporting this morning. Political coverage now for you. Governor Mike Parson officially announced his run for governor in 2020 yesterday. He made the announcement in his hometown of Bolivar and promised more jobs, to provide a quality education to Missouri students, and to fight to end abortion across the state. He believes the state could accomplish those goals without raising taxes as well.
With common sense and honor and integrity, and that's why I am here today in my hometown of Bolivar to announce that I am running for you to be your governor in the great state of Missouri.
Republican state representative and candidate Jim Neely welcomed the governor to the race and said that he believes the primary that's upcoming should be, quote, an opportunity to discuss the issues that matter to Missourians who are fighting for their lives. Some other political news for you. Missouri legislators will be in a special session today to address motor vehicle sales tax allowances. Governor Parson called the session after the state Supreme Court ruled that sales proceeds of only one vehicle may be used as a credit against the sales tax owed on the purchase of a new one. The law used to allow for sales proceeds of more than one vehicle to be used.
Here's a look at that education coverage. The Christian County judicial system is working to help kids at school with bad attendance. A new program this year at the Ozark School District, the Christian County Diversion Court Program, will identify around 30 at-risk kids and provide them help to make sure they're successful at completing school. It targets students who have poor attendance, 80% or less. Circuit Judge Laura Johnson says the program is designed to intervene long before kids may be in trouble with the law.
I know in my position as a judge, the vast majority of criminal adult defendants that I see did not graduate from high school. I mean, a surprisingly high number.
For some more information about the specific phases of the program, go online to our website, ozarksfirst.com.
A new report is highlighting some discipline data at Springfield Public Schools. It shows that students from diverse backgrounds were more likely to be disciplined than others. The News Leader reports that this covers last school year and that 17% of Springfield students were disciplined. Now, among that 17% is a breakdown of demographics. The rate was 21% for low-income and black students, 23% for Hispanic students, and 26% for students in special ed programs. Some of the discipline does include suspensions as well. Most of the groups mentioned spent more than the average of 7 days in suspension. Also in the report, more than half of the district's students responded favorably to the school's safety measures compared to last year. Superintendent John Jungman says that leaders will not ignore the difficult issues still happening in that district.
In more local news, the Springfield City Council will talk about capital improvement and beautification efforts at today's meeting. The council may vote to approve a contract for $212,000 to add a turn lane and make safety improvements at Division and Commercial as part of capital improvements. The council will also consider whether to approve the city utilities' 2020 fiscal year budget and another ordinance that would allow the city to apply for $35,000 in state grant money to support native plant establishment at Fast Night Creek. The council will also extend the term of the city's sexual assault task force through the end of October. The meeting is held at 6:30 tonight at Historic City Hall on Boonville.
Mercy Hospital will be hosting a ribbon cutting for Phase 2 of their heart hospital. The event starts at 10 this morning at the west entrance of Mercy. The new space will officially be open to patients beginning on the 16th. The final phase of the project is still set for completion in fall of next year. It includes heart surgery prep and recovery rooms, operating rooms, a care unit, and an observation unit.
A campaign event for Hunger Action Month in Christian County is happening later this morning in Ozark. The event begins at 10 and is hosted by Least of These, a nonprofit food pantry. Community leaders, Area Chamber of Commerce, Ozark High School, JROTC, and Nixa High School Chamber Choir will all be on hand at that event.
And it's a wrap on another Japanese Fall Festival in Springfield from the weekend. All weekend long, people were able to see the Mizumoto Stroll Garden at Nathaniel Green Park for the 24th annual Japanese Fall Fest. It celebrates Japanese culture and honors the 33-year-old sister city relationship with Ise-Saki, Japan.
We have had a great weekend. Yeah, it's been great because, of course, that's more revenue that we can put back into this park and support cultural exchanges. But it also gets out the message, which is ultimately peace through people and appreciation of diversity, appreciation of cultures.
The admission fees at the festival are used to maintain and develop the Mizumoto Gardens and further the Peace Through People mission with our sister city.
Let's take a look at what's coming up after daybreak.
I'm Anthony Mason. Coming up, the fastest growing minority gun club in the nation. Why the founder says gun rights are especially important to them. Coming up on CBS This Morning.
And a few things trending on Google right now. The first one, if you travel very much, travel overseas, this might affect you. It is a 48-hour strike over pay with British Airways. And what they've been forced to do, they said basically they don't know how many employees, if any, are going to show up. And so they have been forced to cancel virtually all of their flights until further notice.
Wow. All right. So a lot happening over there. And hopefully you don't get caught up there.
Right. Hopefully, yeah, unless you're doing international travel, it shouldn't affect you too much. But if you are, something to watch out for.
Okay. That's all right. And then also, we are talking about the president canceling that meeting with the Taliban. He was supposed to have Taliban leaders and the president of Afghanistan come by for a meeting at Camp David. That has since been canceled after a U.S. soldier died in a suicide bombing on Thursday.
Right, and so that's a developing story as the day goes on as well. Some messages from the Taliban this morning, and CBS This Morning is following that story.
All right, and we also need one last check of our forecast. A lot of summer feels out here. It doesn't feel too much like September.
No, the month already running 6 degrees above average. It is 94 for that high today by dismissal, kids. Hot and humid, feeling closer to 100. We could pop an isolated storm for the eastern Ozarks today. Otherwise, sunshine through Thursday, still staying pretty summery. We'll have our next cold front come through Thursday night into Friday with some little relief.
All right, a lot of 90s right there in that 7 day, so get outside if you like. the heat a little bit and enjoy it. Thanks for watching us here and starting your week off with Daybreak.